As a part of this conference, we have framed this session in such a way that it covers physical, chemical sciences, and its mathematical aspects. In this seminar, we have a small pool of renowned researchers deliver their talks on their field of expertise. Intelligence is a very essential for faculty of small engineering colleges like us to carry forward our research towards sustainable and useful applications. Now I request Dr. P.V. Rajeshwari Madam to introduce our first speaker of the day, Professor Shankar Ram. Now I hand it over to Rajeshwari. Hello, yeah, I'm audible to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So now I take the opportunity to introduce myself with my supervisor and first speaker of our session, Professor S. Ram. So I am giving the brief CV of Professor S. Ram. He completed MSc Physics in 1978 from Banaras Hindu University, and from the same institute he completed PhD in Physics in 1982. In recognition to his contribution in developing different varieties of advanced materials and technologies, he had received various professional awards such as CNRS Fellow from France in 1989-90, Alexander von Humboldt Fellowship in the year during the year 1994 to 96 and 2004 in Germany, and MRSI Medal India during 2003. He served as visiting scientist and professor at various institutes such as McMaster University, Canada in 1988 to 89, Domaine University, France during 1989 to 92, and Ulm University in various years in 2005 to 6, 2007, 8, 2010, 15. Germany. He joined as assistant professor in Material Science Center, IIT Kharagpur in 1996, where he became associate professor in 2000. And then he became professor and senior professor by the year 2010 with a higher administrative grade, HAC, senior professor. And to his credit, there are 280 publications in various reputed journals, 11 patents, 13 book chapters. He supervised 28 PhDs, working 6 MTech theses and 29 BTech theses. He completed 15 projects, research projects, funded projects under with a wide range of materials and applications, such as his research covering a wide range of research domains, such as glasses, alloys, ceramics, magnetoceramics, nanofluids, alloys, superconductors, GMR, GMS, GMC materials, syntronics, and photonics, and many more. He served as head Material Science and IIT Kharagpur from 2011 to 2014. He was the president of Material Science section in 100 Indian scientists at Calcutta in 2013. He is the chairman, Mechanical Engineering Department of Indian Standard in Delhi, and actually from the credits he has, he actually he has a rank of top 0.5% in research in science and application. And now I take a few seconds to my feelings was that I am proud to say that he is my supervisor, and he is not only a teacher, he is a good philosopher. He is a simple man of high universal human values, with down to earth personality and kind heartedness. Thank you, sir. Now I request Professor Isran to take over and start his talk. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Good.
Sir, over to you.
इसको ऑन करना पड़ेगा ना।
प्रेजेंट तीसरा, उसके बाजू वाला, उसके बाजू, उसके बाजू वाला,
आवाज आ रही है?
यस, टैब, यस,
Sir, can you hear me?
यस यस
क्लिक करिए, विंडो बीच वाला, नहीं मैं कर देता हूँ, विंडो, शेयर,
हेलो हेलो राजेश्वरी, सामने नहीं जा रहा क्या?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, it
Then
is
You
audible?
are audible, sir.
Okay, okay,
You are audible and your slide is visible.
okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. In this program of the International Conference on Recent Advances in Mathematical Sciences and Applications, with your kind permission, I would like to thank Dr. Rajeshwari for a systematic introduction to the research activities of our group at IIT Kharagpur and other places. This talk I have planned to dedicate in sweet memory of our seniors at GBP Professor V. Lakshmi Mikantam Institute for Advanced Studies and GBP College of Engineering, Visakhapatnam. I thank all the organizers, chairs, and other personalities involved in this program. I also thank delegates, faculty members, students, and staff to make this program a grand success. In my view, this is a very important program that covers mathematics, sciences, and engineering branches which are necessary to work together in a team. In this specific talk, I will share a few points on mathematical formalism of small creatures in purview of materials, material science, their properties especially useful for different applications. Nowadays, there is a great need of working together for the people of mathematics, sciences, and engineering. I mean, there should be a teamwork between basic sciences and applied sciences for the development of the industries, development of the technology, especially in our country. The topic we are going to discuss over here is very important, especially for development of science and technology of applied materials, small materials, materials of small size that we call nanostructure material or functional material. So this is very important class of material we call synergic material synergic structure, smart structures, functional materials. This is not a discipline of material science, but biological sciences, agriculture, medicine, engineering, and all branches possible, it is involved. So nanomaterials are very important for different applications. I have prepared this slide especially for the students, and it is very difficult to satisfy the interest of all participants because this is cover mathematics, basic sciences, engineering, and engineering, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, so many. So I have framed here only to confine to basic points which is useful for most of the audience. So if you listen carefully, you can find that there is a strong correlation in science, technology, society and nature. So there is a correlation in science, technology, society and nature. I mean to say that we can learn a lot from nature in terms of the work culture. So work culture is very important here. In my opinion, we live together, we stay together, we work together, but somehow we are not functioning together. So this work culture we can learn from the nature. Nature is functioning in a collective manner, but we are not able to function together. So this is required especially for the young student to build up their careers. So I usually say that we learn to appreciate the people who are doing something for the benefit of the country. This is very important. This should begin from the childhood, from the education. So here you see that nature functions by exchanging energy from the surrounding. Supreme power, supreme source is the sun as well as the moon. So total nature is growing on the basis of exchanging energy from the solar system. So solar system is the source of energy. Similarly, a material also functions on the basis of exchange of its internal energy with the surrounding. So in nanomaterial, small material or small creatures, we are building up internal energy which can exchange with the surrounding easily according to the application. This is the theme of synthesizing a material of small structure or small creature in general. So this is content of this talk. So I will confine myself just to introduce or just to clarify what is a small creature and why it is functioning differently compared to the grown-up creature, a grown-up material or bulk equilibrium structure. So small structure is very useful in terms of the society, in terms of the creature, in terms of the material, in terms of functionality. So I will try to clarify what is a small structure and why it is behaving differently compared to the grown-up structure or bulk equilibrium structure with some example. And especially in terms of materials, such small structure can be synthesized using natural method, means chemical methods, self-propagating combustion method to some extent, and here biological methods are very useful especially to create materials of small structure which can function for particular applications. So this biogenic synthesis is very important. It is eco-friendly and it can be synthesized very easily compared to other methods involving several toxic components. Here biogenic method में green nature, you can take green nature nectar and use it as a precursor or a modifier to synthesize value added materials. So here biogenics are important, herbs you can take, enzymes you can take, and fungi you can take here. So biological route is very useful to synthesize value added material for different applications, especially biomedical applications. And here you can see that in terms of the structure, they have allied structure, means high energy structure. They are building up small structures. So I will not go in detail. So small structures, especially of cellular structure, means layer structure one by one, is raising the total surface energy, means total activity of the system, gives free energy. Or you can say in terms of first law of thermodynamics, H is equal to E plus PV. It is growing up the enthalpy. So such kind of material store huge energy in terms of enthalpy, which is very useful for different applications, especially energy application, photocatalyst applications, and conversion of toxic compound into non-toxic compounds. Here means we are changing the molecular weight. So this is very useful material for several applications, and I feel proud that also Rajeshwari is using this method, means biological method, to synthesize value added material. So this is new discipline to synthesize new kind of material which are not possible to synthesize by usual method, physical methods or even chemical methods. For example, CrO2 is a very important material. It appears very simple, but it is not possible to synthesize by usual method. CrO2 easily oxidizes to Cr2O3. So CrO2 is not possible to synthesize in the laboratory, but if you go to biological methods, it is possible to synthesize CrO2, that is ferromagnetic material, means it is having 2 times magnetic moment compared to the usual ferromagnetic material, for example Fe3O4 or other ferrites. So it is having magnetic moment 140 EMU per gram at room temperature, that is very close to the high energy density magnetic material. So this, it is spintronic material. It is GMR material, means it is having all types of material properties. So here this is one example to synthesize the material which are not usually existing by other methods. So this is the role, or this is application of the high energy content in the material that is useful for the application. It is also useful to synthesize new material. Here you see that such kind of material, natural material, are two-phase material, that is core cell structure, means surface atoms are distributing differently in terms of the interatomic distance, symmetry, enthalpy and other properties compared to the core. So core atoms are having different electronic structure or distribution compared to those at the surface. So here distribution of electron, distribution of atom at the surface is different compared to those in the core. So such kind of material, we say that it forms a core cell structure, and if you look the nature, it is already having a core cell structure, means surface is there, and below the surface we are calling core. So material in general function in terms of a core cell structure, means it is isolated system, and here cell controls a controlled energy exchange from the surrounding. So functional material is one, which is able to exchange energy from the surrounding in a controlled manner. So this cell is very important to exchange the energy from the surrounding in a controlled manner. So it is a functional material. For example, here I have given the example of a car, and if you put this car in the sun in winter season, you can find that the temperature inside grows larger compared to the outside. When we store heat energy in the winter from the sun, and in the absence of sun, in the same place you can find that temperature inside the car is lower compared to the surrounding. So this is example that a vehicle or a structure store energy through the cell. So this cell is very important, exchange of energy. So the same philosophy we are using to synthesize a material in a core cell structure but a small size. Here another example. Here you can see that these are the eggs, and these eggs are growing by exchange of energy from the mother. So here this is independent object, this is independent object, and also this independent object is having a surface which is very hard. Below the surface hard, there is another surface. Here you can see that these are cellular structure, but these cellular structure means cells are transferring energy from the surrounding atmosphere in a very controlled manner. So the nature has built up of its own in the way it is transferring the energy to the surrounding or taking energy from the surrounding in a controlled manner the way it is required. So same exchange of energy is possible in material, means synthesized material, nanomaterial, or material of a small structure, and that is already available in the nature. So this slide I have put here just to give a hint how a nanomaterial is functioning differently compared to the bulk material. Here this is another example. Here I have put a title, small materials or material of small size below critical value. I will define later what is meaning of small. So small materials reform allied structure, mean they are arranging one another through the surface energy and forming new structure which is useful for the practical applications. Sometimes it is also called superstructure, means individual material that we are taking, they are already available in certain structure and they are arranging again in a specific structure, that is called superstructure or hierarchical structure. Also this is happening in lattice. Suppose you are having crystal lattice, cubic lattice, tetragonal, orthorhombic, and they are arranging again in a specific structure, and that is called superstructure, that you can see also by X-ray diffraction. So here I have put this slides to give one impression. Suppose these are the people, human being, soldiers, and they are arranging in a very specific way, means these are the plate type structures or rod type structures. Similarly here see that these are the students, these are the people, persons, and whites this, and they are forming linear structure or this kind of structure, mean plug type structures. So these are individual structures and they are arranging again, ordering again in a specific structure, and similarly here it is made by the small structures. And similarly here you see that this is a map of India, and this map is designed by the persons, means persons at the Republic Day and Independence Day, they are arranging in this manner, so forming a new structure. Similarly, we are synthesizing individual persons, suppose here, and individual material, and they are arranging again in a specific structure, and they appear in tetragonal structure, hexagonal structure, means all 7 types of crystal structures, superstructures, and this is called hierarchical structure or self-assembly structure, and this is functional structures. So material function on the basis of individual structure at a nanoscale as well as this structure. This is called microstructures. Microstructures. So this is very important, and this is available or possible. You can think yourself by only small structure. Suppose we have big pieces over here, suppose 1 kilometer or 1 kilometer cube, then it is not possible to structure such a sophisticated structure very precisely. So a precise structure at a nanometer scale or micrometer scale or centimeter scale is possible to be built up only by starting small structure, and that small structure we call nanomaterial. And what is nanomaterial, I will try to clarify. It is not possible to clarify in 1 hour, but I will try. Here, this is the nature. You can say that this is the liquid state, and from this liquid state, a small creature is created, and this has grown to baby now here 9 months, and it can grow as a child, it can grow teenager and then become adult, and up to this it is growing by decreasing the energy, by excess energy, surface energy is coming down up to this. So maximum energy is available over here, then it decays, energy decays again, energy system decays means energy is growing up. So suppose it is able to add up the same amount of energy as it has decreased from here to here, then it reaches to the same value, means it dies, it finished. So this is a cycle, the cycle of the creature, not only living creature, non-living creature means plants and herbs and all this, and the same is available also with the materials. So suppose what will be the structure of the material, what will be the function of the material, what will be the properties of the material, it depends how it is nucleating and growing. So properties of material, properties of a creature depends on nucleation and growth here. So you can easily digest it or understand by looking at the nature. So try to look how the nature is nucleating and growing in a specific structure. So maybe that chemical composition is the same. Suppose you take human baby or maybe animal baby or plants, chemical composition is almost same and same elements are available, but they are forming different structure, different property, different application, just in difference of the chemical and physical structure here. So this chemical physical structure is very important. So nanomaterial, we are trying to synthesize the material of a small structure in terms of the nature over here. So suppose you can stop over here, if you can stop age over here, suppose it is child, and if you stop the age, then it may be child only. If you stop the age over here at adult, then this human being will be adult only, means it will be more functional compared to this age here. So this we are doing in nanomaterial. We are trying to the nanomaterial and stopping the growth over here. So it functions as a baby. Suppose we stop the size and shape and surrounding topology at this level, then it is functioning at a child. If you stop here, then it is functioning at teenager, and if you stop over here, then it is functioning here. So the material is the same, depending upon its size, depending upon its shape, depending upon its topology, and this depending upon this electronic structure, it is functioning differently. Suppose you are taking cobalt. Cobalt is available in different structure. Suppose it is BCC structure, FCC structure, SCP structure. It is behaving differently here. So material is same, composition may be same, but it function differently depending upon its size, shape, and surface topology, and growth means how atoms are stacking one after others, and of course surface interface. And this is not new, nothing is new. It is already available in the nature. Suppose this is the baby. This may be baby, maybe engineer, maybe doctor, and some other profession depending upon its growth. Suppose a good teacher is there, so it depends that a good teacher has studied well and developed himself to work as a good teacher. The same depending upon the growth, it may be doctor. So this example is saying that creature is the same, material is the same, but it is functioning differently depending on the way it has grown up here. So growth is very, very important. For example, I usually give the example that if you go to IIT system, our IIT students, BTech students are growing in a very specific culture depending upon the surrounding. But maybe that some better student is there and he is in some other engineering college, he is not able to develop in general so nicely as BTech student in IIT because of the environment. So a person, that's why I say that development of a person, personality of a person doesn't depend upon its caliber only, but the way it is using his own personality development. So the process is very, very important over here. So this is available in nature, it is available in material. For example, here I put small is highly powerful. What is meaning of small? I will clarify later. This is very important point. And what is meaning of small? So small is highly powerful. It is highly energetic. It is highly efficient to function. It is highly symmetric. It lowers internal energy. SI is equal to SI. It is highly functional and it is eco-friendly. This you can find in nature also. A small baby, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years is eco-friendly, but it is not necessary that he will be eco-friendly after 20 years, 30 years and 50 years here. So similarly in materials, so small is highly useful. So here I say the nucleation and growth, properties of a material and the properties of a person, properties of a creature depends on nucleation and growth. And here a term is embryo. Embryo, I will not go in detail. This is the small entity from which a creature is growing in a specific structure and property. So embryo is important in material science. It is in nature also. For example, this is big tree of banyan, and if you look the seed is very small, that is 100 nanometer, and I have cut over here the seed. This is about 100 nanometer, and the seed from here, this is fruit, and inside the fruit you have 1000 seeds, and this 1000 seed, one seed is around roughly 100 nanometer. But in one seed you can find that embryo is there, and one seed is having in general one embryo. Sometimes 2 are available, 3 are available also, and that size is at the scale of 2 nanometer to 3 nanometer. That is called embryo, and that is also available in materials. So we in chemistry, physics, material science, we are playing with that embryo. So we are trying to nucleate embryo, and giving experimental conditions such that that embryo, it is growing in its own chemical structure, physical structures, and that is called nanomaterial, we say. So whatever material in nature is available, that is already nanomaterial, because it is consisting of small entities. So I have given this slide just to hint that why in nanomaterial we are controlling size of the material. And nature is already growing a material functional on the basis of a small structure of its component. So the God, nature, is very, very great scientist. So we should learn from the nature good science. Beside this, there is another energy. We are calling that soul energy, that is available in living creatures. Living creatures. So there are two kinds of creature: living creature, non-living creature. So this will, soul, is very, very important. So function of a creature also depends equally on the soul power, will power. Will power is important. So material power is important, and then will power is important here. So I have put several people over here. They have suggested that willpower, and try to develop your willpower. So if you are interested to use your resources, try to develop your willpower. So this is also material science. So for example, here I put this person. He was very poor person, President of India, APJ Abdul Kalam. He suggested that develop your willpower. Radhakrishnan has said develop your willpower. Vivekanand said that develop your willpower. And Einstein said develop that self-confidence and willpower. And means all these people have done something extraordinary because of the willpower, not because of the capability. Maybe that capability wise they were same as other people, or maybe inferior, but they have done something extraordinary because of the willpower, confidence. So this complete confidence is important over here. So all is part of nanomaterial. So from here I will try to explain what is nanomaterial. What is nanomaterial, or what is small material, or what is a small creature. So let us begin from here. What is material? What is material? So in general we know that a material exists in solid, liquid, gas. Solid, liquid, gas. There is another state that is called glass. So glass is a fourth state of matter, that is supercooled liquid. So this is neither solid, neither liquid, neither glass. So I have not put that one, that becomes very specific. So what is material? So let us think what is material. So I put here solid, liquid, gas, 3. So all 3 stages, phases of material, means solid, liquid, gas, consist of mass. Suppose you take a material of a given mass, and then it is having a given volume depending upon how the atoms are distributing in different sites. So you say that either you take solid, liquid, gas of a given mass, maybe 1 milligram, then this volume is not fixed. This volume depends how the atoms within the mass are distributing in different energy level. That is called structure, atomic structure. So this distribution of atoms in different energy level as given over here determine what will be the volume occupied by the mass. And this gives certain energy also here. So suppose you consider a material of given mass, and suppose it has capital N number of atoms, and these N atoms are distributing in different energy level, epsilon 1, epsilon 2, epsilon 3, epsilon 4, then total energy will be this. You have studied in the messy level, total number of atoms will be this here. So suppose here capital N is infinity, then by distributing atoms in different energy level doesn't lead to change in E value, that is constant. So distribution of atoms in different energy levels doesn't lead to any change in this value if N is infinitely large. That is called bulk equilibrium structures. So by distribution of atoms in different energy level, we cannot create a new thermodynamic state of matter. Then for a given distribution of atoms, this value is constant. But if N is finite value may be 1000, 2000, 10,000 even, then you can find that by changing the distribution of atom, internal energy, thermodynamic state of matter is changing, and that is called nanomaterial. So a nanomaterial or small structure material is a material of finite atoms. Finite atoms means it is 1000, maybe 10,000 also, depending upon the material here. So I say that if N value is finite, then depending upon a given structure, in a given mass, this volume is fixed and density is fixed. It is not changing much in a given crystal structure at this value. This is called a nanomaterial. Means here we are changing E value, and then we are changing this Hamiltonian, and we are changing this SI is equal to E psi, and that's why a nanomaterial or a material of a small structure is functioning differently compared to its bulk counterpart. Similarly, if you take a baby 5 years, he behaves, function differently compared to the same at 50 years, 80 years or 20 years, and difference is over here is this. So creature function at different ages differently because of the difference in thermodynamic state. So this thermodynamic state is very important over here. This is third of thermodynamics. There is specific correlation between thermodynamic state of matter and its function in a particular application. This is third of thermodynamics. So material function according to its thermodynamics and how it is deviating from its thermodynamics during the application. So this is important. That is called fugacity. So a material function according to thermodynamic state, and functionality is determined by the way it is deviating from thermodynamic state. So fugacity is important and thermodynamic state is important here, and depending upon this N value means how these N atoms are distributing. We are having three types of material: zero dimension material, one dimension material and two dimension material. And this is three dimension material means bulk material, and its size is infinitely large here. So density of states. So energy levels available in the system are changing when N value is finite, and that is ordering in different size and different energy level in different shape over here. So here zero dimension, one dimension, two dimension is very very important material. And if you are having the material of zero dimension, one dimension, two dimension, again we need to define what is meaning of zero dimension, one dimension, two dimension. Then this is nanomaterial or a material of a small structure, or it is a small creature. So suppose if you are having a nature plant, it is having components, cells and organs. They are available in zero dimension, one dimension, two dimension. So nature is already functioning on the basis of the material that are available in small dimension, small size, small shape, zero dimension, one dimension, two dimension, and that's why it is functioning automatically. Then I will try to clarify later in the next transfer 0, 1, 2. And here I have given classification of materials. because everybody is working ultimately on material, agriculture, chemical engineering, or mechanical means if you go to science as well as engineering or medicals, everywhere it is ultimately materials only. So we are using material in terms of the food, in terms of the vehicle, in terms of other discipline. So it is necessary to understand what is material. What is material? I have put over here because there are several books available, and most of the books are highly confusing because these books are not written by the standard people. They are written by the people who do not understand the science. So they have put a definition very randomly. For example, if we ask the people what are the materials, sometimes say they are metals and they are conductors, they are insulator, means they are confusing all the way. So here I have put in a very simple way. It is useful especially for teachers or young students of science and engineering. So if you try to define a material in terms of the chemical bonding means how atoms are coordinating one another in a group, are bonding one another, then you are having a metal. In metal, this is called metal bonding. Actually it is coordination. And then you are having alloys, and then these are intermetallics. Intermetallic is also a kind of alloy only, but this is available at a specific composition, crystal structure. So it is compound ultimately. So alloy is intermetallic is a compound, and compound and then is a composite. So depending upon the chemical bonding between atoms in a material, we are having metals, alloys, intermetallic, compounds, and composite materials. There are 5 types of materials. Depending upon the chemical bonding. And this compound may be molecules and may be molecular lights. So this is also very tedious question. Means what is a molecule? What is a molecule? I usually ask the people, and hardly people know what is a molecule because no book is available. Of course, it is written in high school or class 7 or class 8, but depends upon the teacher how he defines or clarifies. So molecule, so compound may be molecule or may be molecular type. For example, I ask you people what is a molecule, then hardly anybody understand what is a molecule. For example, I say that H2O and benzene, Al2O3, SiO2, TiO2, these are molecule or not molecules. So you say all are molecules only, but all are not molecule. For example, SiO2 is not molecule, zirconia is not molecule, but people understand that these are the molecules. Molecule means complete structure. For example, H2O is molecule, complete structure. Benzene is a complete structure, but Al2O3 is not molecule, zirconia is not molecule, SiO2 is not molecule. Si2 and silicon dioxide exist in tetrahedral structure. Silicon is available at the center, and the 4 oxygens are coordinating, forming CH4 type structure. CH4 methane is a molecule, complete structure, but here SiO4 type unit is not molecule, but it is a molecular structure, molecular type. For example, ceramic, these are ceramic material, metallic oxides, they do not form molecules, but our system is highly corrupted, books are corrupted, they are saying that molecules, and they are using highly sophisticated instrument. For example, Raman spectroscopy, IR spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy, ERS spectroscopy to characterize the material, but they do not understand what is the molecule, what is the molecular structure. This is not important, but problem is that when you are using such techniques that it is operating on the basis of the molecule or molecular like structure. What is the basic structure over here? That is important over here. So all analysis becomes wrong if you are not able to understand what is molecule, what is molecular type structure like this. So ceramics are not molecule, but books are saying that there is a molecule also. So this our system, science and technology, especially engineering, is highly polluted. They are using very sophisticated characterization techniques, but ultimate answer is wrong. For example, here this topic is on mathematics. If in mathematics you are doing a mistake at one place, answer is always incorrect. But if you are doing mistake 2 times, so maybe that answer is correct over here. So in science, if you are assuming a molecule as a non-molecule or a non-molecule as a molecule, whatever sophisticated technique you are using, your analysis is wrong only. So most of the literature nowadays are reporting wrong information. They are not trying to understand what is a molecule. And this is especially engineering. And if you look in terms of the distribution of electrons in different cells and subcells, cells means K, L, M, N, O, P, and subcells means S, P, D, F, like this. Then you are having conductor, you are having semiconductor, you are having insulator. So depending upon the electron bind structure, we are having conductor, semiconductor, insulator. For example, here you take here oxide over here, oxide, for example, here chromium dioxide, that is a conductor that behaves as a metal. It is a non-metal, it appears as a non-metal, but according to this definition, it behaves metals. So there are several oxides, metal oxides that behaves like metal. So these are conductor, and that metals oxide can have higher conductivity compared to the metal. For example, superconductor would take yttrium, barium, copper, that is oxide system that is having higher conductivity compared to the metals or alloys or intermetallics, and the conductivity is 0 almost if you go below the critical transition temperature 91 K and so on this. So this is definition. Suppose several books are available, several teachers say that what is semiconductor? Say semiconductor is a material which is having electrical conductivity in between the value of metal and insulator. This is nonsense definition. Semiconductor is not defined on the basis of electrical conductivity, it is defined on the basis of the bind structure, and the bind structure means valence electrons are separated from the continuous distribution of electrons in different cells and subcells. That is called band gap, and if that band gap is higher, 4 electron volt, 5 electron volt, it is insulator. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 electron volt, then this is semiconductor. So this is so simple thing, but in our textbook it is highly polluted this. For example, Mittal book is available there, and this definition is given that I have given that a semiconductor is a material which is having conductivity in between metals and insulator. So this is useful for a teacher. So knowledge based education nowadays required, and that is missing, especially university level, engineering level. It is not difficult, but we need to learn the basic things. So knowledge based education is highly important. Here energy carriers are important over here. A material function on the basis of energy carriers. These are the energy carriers, electron, holes like this. But if you reduce the size of the material to a nanometer scale, few nanometer scale, then lattice cluster particle behaves as energy carriers. So in a small structure, and additional important parameter is adding up over here, that material itself behaves as energy carriers. For example, I usually say that about Mahatma Gandhi, it is said, ऐसे अद्भुत थे सेनानी रण में खुद से लड़ते थे. So Mahatma Gandhi was a person, was a leader, but he was behaving as a person, as a soldier, as well as leader. For example, if you take old age, 100 years, 200 years, 300 years, suppose you take Rana Pratap, you take Lakshmi Bai, means old age kings, they were fighting of their own, means they were serving as a group captain, leader, king, as well as soldier. So they had multiple action, multiple activities. So same thing is available in nanomaterial. In nanomaterial, each behaving as a king, means a material, and within the material there are energy carriers, but material as a whole is also behaving as energy carriers. So this is functioning in two potential well. One potential well of the basic energy carriers that are available in all kinds of material, and another potential well that is material itself. A nanomaterial function itself as energy carriers. That's why a nanomaterial or material of a small structure is behaving differently compared to the same material of a small size. So you can think as a philosopher how, for example, if you look the small children, for example 5 years, 6 years, they are playing in different way, like king and something like this. All examples are available here. So what is nanomaterial? What is nanomaterials? I have classified over here. I am trying to clarify, I am giving the point that are necessary you to learn what is nanomaterial, because these points are not available in textbook, it is not available in review articles, and most of things are polluted only, especially in nanomaterials. So this will help you to think what is nanomaterial. So what is a nanomaterial? Definition: it is a hot energy material. Why a term hot? You will need to think over here. So it is a hot energy material of surface confined size, means it is size structure is confined by the size surface atoms, usually 1 to 100 nanometer, and important is preponderance of its net surface energy. Here I am not writing surface energy, it is total surface energy over its volume energy. This is called Gibbs free energy. So material consists of two kinds of energy, one called surface energy and another is Gibbs free energy. So Gibbs free energy not changing much, we are playing with the surface energy. So this total surface energy in a nanomaterial is higher, but surface energy in nanomaterial is smaller than bulk value. So that's why I say here net surface energy. So I say that surface energy in nanomaterial means if you are reducing size, then surface energy is decreasing. Material becomes softer and softer, like babies, and babies are soft, and when baby is growing it becomes more and more harder in terms of the sense, in terms of the activity. Same thing is available in nanomaterial. So total energy, because of the surface area, total energy is higher, but individual energy is smaller. It is a material of high total surface energy. I have elaborated over here. Surface area multiplied by the surface energy and R per centimeter square, which duly tunes its structure properties, functionality, and application in a structure property application correlation here. So these two properties are very important over here. And then if you look the properties, in general, surface atoms share larger interatomic distance, lower coordination numbers, lower symmetry, larger volume enthalpy, H is equal to E plus PV, means it triggers total internal energy state value, large entropy, and multiple energy carriers. Bulk materials, we are having only one kind of energy carrier, that is called one electron device, single electron device. But if you take the same material of nanostructure, then it is multi-electron device, and that term over here. So bulk material is a single electron device and nanomaterial is multi-electron device because it is having different kinds of energy carriers. So same material is available in different energy levels. And tunable fugacity, and this is termed by virtue of which a material is functioning, a creature is functioning here. So how a material functions, it depends upon the fugacity and it depends upon the capability of the material. For example, a person may be highly capable in all respect, but it is not necessary that he will function properly. For example, when I was a student in Banaras University, we had a very good teacher, mathematics, very knowledgeable teacher. His name was Lal Mani Tripathi, LMT, mathematics teachers. But he was very lazy, so the student has named him lazy mathematics teachers here. So he was very good teacher, everything good, but he is not so functional because he was not interested in teaching always over here. Same thing is available in material and in person, of course. So this fugacity is available. So in material science, in materials, we tailor energy, stability, as well fugacity of the material here. So this fugacity is highly functional here. For example, also in society, some students are highly brilliant, they are highly capable, and they are highly functional also, but they are not ready to work. So they are not functional. So this fugacity is important here. So this is available in nature, creature, it is available in society, it is available in the material. So we need to build up fugacity in the material over here. Examples are metal, alloys and ceramics. I will be faster here. So here I will try to define what is a small structure or what is a nanomaterial. Say material function at clusters of energy carriers. You try to understand what is meaning of this here. So I say that a material function at clusters of energy carriers. Say a material, especially of small size, is having different energy carriers, and these are available in a cluster, and that cluster determines one average energy structure and thermodynamic state or density of states. So it is functioning as a cluster, and that cluster structure is changing here. Maybe that size of cluster is not changing, but only shape is changing. So that is called microstate. Just change in a microstate, material is functioning differently here. So material function at clusters of energy carriers. This is not applied in bulk material because this cluster size is infinitely large. So as I pointed out at the beginning, by changing the shape, changing the size, that doesn't lead to change in thermodynamic state over here. Because I said that a material function according to its thermodynamic state. So it is a cluster of energy carriers. This is also part of the Bose-Einstein condensations, and Bose has suggested how a material function differently when it is available in a cluster form, bosons or something, fermions you can take over here. So this is very, very important here. So it cluster may be of spin clusters, maybe charge clusters, and so many things. So here we are changing the internal state, and we are changing the probability of exchange of energy, how it is changing energy from the surrounding. Exchange of energy is important over here, and energy carriers important here, structure, symmetry and fugacity. So by designing a material of small size, that nanomaterial, we are changing the property in terms of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties. We are changing this fugacity at the last. So here let us try to understand what is nanomaterial. For example, you take a material means single crystal and suppose size is 200 nanometer, and then if you calculate surface energy over here, it is specific surface energy and total surface energy per unit mass of the material, then it is 0. So 200 nanomaterial, solid material having 0 surface energy, so it is available in lowest possible energy state, that is called equilibrium energy state. S is equal to E plus PV. So E is minimum over here because surface energy is 0. Why how surface energy is 0 I will tell later, but lay mind your accept over here. If you cut into 2 parts, then it becomes 200 nanometer length and this 100 nanometer length. This is again a material of infinite dimension. If you cut into 8 parts, then one side is 100 nanometer and this is again bulk material, means surface energy is 0. Means we are not able to change thermodynamic state of material up to this value 100 nanometer. If you cut again into 2 parts over here, 2.5, then each size will be around 50 nanometer here. So now we had cut this 200 nanometer cube into 64 parts, then now each side is 50 nanometer, and even 50 nanometer size you are having only 2.4% volume wise atoms available on the surface which are not able to complete their coordination number. So you think your own, because I don't have time over here. So only 2.4% volume is surface atom, and if you are considering the size of one atom is 2 angstrom, that is 0.2 nanometer. So if you are having 2.2 nanometer thickness at the surface, then even 50 nanometer structure is contributing only 2.4% volume, and this structure, even this small structure contains 2 million atoms over, means 10 to the raised power 6 into 2. This is huge value. So this of course functioning differently compared to the bulk value, means compared to this bulk and a 0 energy value, but even this is very large value. So if you reduce this further at a scale of 10 to the raised power 10 to the raised power 5 atoms in a structure, then it becomes really a nanomaterial and a material of a small size. So it is having 2 to and 5 to 10% or 20% surface atoms. So these surface atoms here you can see by TM image of gold, surface atoms are available in different structure compared to the core. This is core cell structure, and this behaves differently compared to the bulk value gold. So that's why bulk gold appears as a gold, but this gold appears as a blue color, red color, or even pink color, and because it becomes non-metal. It becomes non-metal. For example, I have classified what is metal. In metal there is a continuous distribution of electrons, but here cell is having incomplete structure, means bond structure, means band gap is developed. So this is non-metal. So it behaves as non-metal. It absorbs energy, it emits energy. For example, you know that only an accelerated charged particle can absorb or emit energy. That is available only in non-metal. In metal it is not possible. In metal, if you are reducing size below certain value, then valence electrons are localized at the surface and they are oscillating collectively, and this absorbs or emit energy, and that is called surface plasmons. Surface plasmons, because valence electrons at the surface oscillating, and oscillating charge can transfer energy to the surrounding or take energy from the surrounding, means it can absorb or emit energy. So you have studied in high school or BSc, MSc level, that only accelerated charge particle can absorb or emit energy, and it is not possible in metal. But if you reduce the metal below a critical size, Bohr radius, then it is behaving as oscillating charge particles, surface plasmons. So it emits or absorbs energy. What is a nanocrystal? Means, let us define again. So a stable crystal of size as small as possible, usually 1 to 25 nanometer radius, in preponderance of surface energy is nanomaterials here. So I will not go in detail. If you look nucleation and growth of the material, and if you take a material of radius r, then its size, surface area will be 4 pi r square, and if you multiply the surface energy, then total surface energy of a particle of radius r in terms of mathematics becomes 4 pi r square into sigma. And if you take the mass of the material, then volume by density, means 4 upon 3 pi r cube, volume multiplied by density rho, then 4 upon 3 pi r cube into rho, this becomes mass, and 4 pi r square sigma will be surface energy, and common terms are cancelled. Then we are having a specific term, this is called surface energy density per unit mass here. So this becomes 3 sigma divided by rho, 1 by r to the raised power n. If you are having a spherical shape, then n is equal to 1. But in general, no material is available in spherical shape. Means even if you are having cubic crystal structure, then it is cube, not spherical. So if you are considering non-spherical shape, then here a power comes over here, and here you see that if r tends to infinity, means every radius tends to infinity, then this surface energy terms become 0. So a structure has no surface energy, specific surface energy becomes 0 when this r value goes to infinity. This structure is called bulk material. And a material of infinite size, here surface energy is 0. So this kind of material has only volume energy, no surface energy, and this is called bulk material here, or material of infinite dimension. But if you having r finite value, then by decreasing this value, this surface energy is going up, so it is monotonically goes up, and this is called nanomaterial or material of finite size. Means this material is finite size, means surface energy is 0. So here I have classified particle of finite dimension, that is bulk material, and material of infinite size, that is bulk material, and material of finite size, that is called nanomaterial here. And this is called a material or creature of small size. Small size means material of a finite size, or a material of non-zero value of the surface energy, we call a material of a small size. I will not go over there, this is material science, and this formula you can develop for here, and I classified from here. So if you are having a material of non-zero value of surface energy, then it is adding up the total energy. This we have quantized states. Si is equal to E psi in bulk material, depending upon the electronic energy, vibrational energy, rotational energy, we are having E value. Si is equal to E psi. But if you are reducing the size below a certain value, the material is adding up here surface energy, and this surface energy is part of the total internal energy, and this is leading to a new thermodynamic state that is called quantized states of matter or surface state of the matter. So nanomaterial is having are consisting or containing quantized states. Quantized states, these are called surface states. So these are not available in bulk material. So nanomaterial function
Excuse me, sir.
from quantized state. Time is over?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. 5 minutes waiting.
ठीक है.
Sorry for it.
I will finish. So if you distribute atoms in this shape, in the form of the wire or in the form of the tube, and suppose the length of the tube or length of wire is infinitely large. Infinitely large means this dimension is not contributing surface energy, then this is called wire, nano tube like this, and we call this 1D material. 1D material means one is infinite. One is infinite, it is not contributing surface energy, it is not contributing quantized size. So y and z directions are having quantized energy carriers. So this is 1D material. Suppose x and y, and this is x and this is width is y, both are infinite, then this is called 2D material. 2D means like two dimensions are infinite, only thickness is finite. So that is controlling the quantized state of the matter. So this is 2D material. So this is 1D material, 2D material. If you are confining all three dimensions, if x, y, z all are finite value, this is a material of 0 dimension, 0D material. This behaves as quantum dot, as an atom. So 0D material, 1D material, 2D material are the nanomaterial here. If all becomes 3 infinity, then this is 3D material. This is also another kind of material, 3D nanomaterial. Suppose effective collective size is 3D and some effective components, small components are having nano size, means 0D, 1D or 2D. This is behaving as a cluster of nanomaterial. This is called 3D nanomaterials. This is also very important in several applications, medicine and cluster especially. So here I say that 1D material, 0D material, 2D material, that is nanomaterial, and this is bulk material, no surface energy, and this is 3D nanomaterials of non-zero value of surface energy. This is assembly. This is very, very important, especially in blood cells and so many things. So I have to finish quickly. So here I have put this structure. You can say that, sir, what is need of this? So this is true nanocrystals. True small structures mean they are in growing state. True state of matter this here. I have put here because our science is polluted. If you look a book or even review article, they say that nanomaterials are rich in energy with defects. Rich in energy, it is okay, but they put the term defect. If you look the books, so most of the people first line say that a nanomaterial rich in defect, but this is nonsense statement. Nature doesn't exist in defect state. Nature exists in defect free state. Here you can see that a complete structure, there is no defect, surface energy is high. So our layman, village people know that a creature doesn't exist in defect state. It exists in defect free state, but our scientists, our engineers have polluted the science. They are saying that nanomaterial is rich in defect. This is nonsense statement. That's why I put over here that you see that nature doesn't exist in defect state. It exists, try to exist in defect free state. Suppose you cut over here, within a few days it is recover, and if you cut the same at 50 years, it doesn't recover so easily. So this is well known, but people are not trying to look the nature here. So I say that this science is very simple. Try to look the nature, try to learn from uneducated people. That's why I say that usually the people, some of the people who have gone to this school, they are highly knowledgeable, are better scientists compared to people who are MSc, PhD or so on. So I will not look like this. So it's a different state, different light emitters, and these are the slides maybe that I will give how to create new kinds of material, optical material, spin doping, so many things. Here I usually give this slide. So we should learn from Einstein. From this discussion it appears that science and application of science, engineering, medicine appears very complicated, but it is not so, because science is a systematic knowledge of structure or material or property or its application. So Einstein is saying that be systematic in the life, not only in science, engineering, also in society, means everywhere. So Einstein is saying that I do not need to know everything. Very simple statement. And I do not need to know everything. And of course it is not necessary to know everything. And if anybody is trying to know everything, he doesn't know anything. If anybody is trying to know everything, which is not possible, if by chance anybody is trying to know everything, it means it is not trying to know anything. For example, in sun you are having 7 colors. If all colors propagate simultaneously in the same direction, no color will come here. So same thing in your activity. If you are trying to do everything or trying to know everything simultaneously, actually you are not functional. You are not doing anything. Then what is necessary? I just need to know what I need to know. This is very important. Lifelong we are not trying to know what we need to know. So I just need to know what I need to know and where I can find it when I need it. That is sufficient. And this statement is not given by Einstein only. It is given by our philosophers, poets of India. Many poets of this. For example, Matharisharan Gupta has Amitabh Bachchan fathers also है. हरिवंश राय से राह चलने के पूर्व बटोही बाट की पहचान करने, निचलक्ष्य निरंतर भेद करो बनता बस बद्यम ही विधि है. And also in Mahabharata, Dronacharya is saying that try to look your lakshya, goal. So this goal is important, but lifelong we are not trying to decide our goal, but we are working day and night without goal, and without goal where we can reach, God only knows here. So in materials, a material, I say that a creature or a material function in response to the pertinent applied pole over here. I think it is visible here according to third law of thermodynamics. A creature function in response, in reaction to a pertinent perturbation field, and if perturbation field is applied on the material, then it is changing the thermodynamic state according to structure, property, function and application here. So there is a correlation between structure, properties, function, application, and then applicability I have not put over here. So structure, property, function, application, correlation is available here. So I will not read over here. I will give slides, and if anybody is interested, he can read this. And then finally I thanks to different group, especially Germany group and my students, including Rajeshwari. Of course I have not included any slide from Rajeshwari. So these are the groups from where I have taken some slides, but in this slide I have not taken any slide from the students, and especially for sponsors. So I have used a lot of financial support from different organizations, especially from World Foundation. So I am very grateful I gratefully thanks to all of them. And the last, I thank all the audience of you to listen this lecture carefully. If anybody is interested to clarify, understand something more in terms of materials, properties, structures, then you are free to call me at any time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hmm.
Thank you for your thoughtful lecture, giving us a good insight of what is a nanomaterial, giving very natural processes, natural examples, and how nanomaterial works, functions, and their properties, how to control the properties. It's very thought-provoking lecture, sir. Thank you very much. And because of lack of time, we are not discussing here, but we will come to you via email if anybody has any doubt.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, sir.
So now I can close.
Yes, sir. Now we are closing for lunch, and we have again we have a lecture at 2 p.m. today.
Okay, thank you. Then I am stopping here.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, and participants, we can go for lunch, and we have a session restarting at 2 p.m. and we will discuss now. Thank you, sir.